Episode 265. Gilmore's little stint as a miner is coming to an end, or has come to an end already. Well, at least for now. We're done with the level 50 quest, so gonna move on to some other things. As if I timed it perfectly with some music. Sort of. We're going back to Quartus. I guess can return using this. And we'll actually be making another stop to the diadem. Or no, not the diadem, not the foundation. No, what was it? It's actually right here. The firmament, that's what it's called. To take on some blue quests that I haven't actually... well, that I've been ignoring since I didn't exactly meet the requirements for them. This one, the broom lifts, and this one, if songs had wings. I mean, I technically meet the requirements for them since, as it says here, you only have to be level 60, and I guess you could take these on as any class, even a disciple of war or whatever, or even land or hand. But to do the next parts of this quest, you actually have to have at least a certain amount of stats. For crafting or gathering. In our case, it's gonna need to be crafting. Because we can't actually gather any of the stuff required for it. I'm getting ahead of myself. Guess we're doing it looking like this. Is the experience decent anyway? Is it worth pouring it into this class? 25,000 isn't that much. So I guess we can take it as any class we want. Well, just kind of like the glamour on this one, so we'll wear this until I want to change for the stuff later. Ah, hero, you've come at a good time. I have a query for you. As you know, I'm descended from Ratatoskir, and like her, I wish to fill the skies with beauteous songs. If I'm to do this, I must know historical events as if I've lived them. To that end, I would meet the great person who put an end to the Dragon Song War. Do you know where I might find this individual? Oh gee, I don't know. Me. What? You are that great person? Heh, all this time I thought Hero was your name. Oh, that's kind of awkward. Maybe her name, Eltol, is actually, I don't know, some kind of funny word in Dragon and her name isn't actually Eltol. Like maybe it means young one or something. And her actual name is Johnson. I don't know. In any case, this makes things simpler. I want you to show me the key places where the war unfolded and tell me tales about them. Lest you worry, I have Francel's permission to go to the city proper, as long as I have company. And so without further ado, let's begin with a visit to the vault. Another tour of the city, fine by me. And again, this would have been released during patch, well, the Shadowbringers patches. Oh, I guess we're not done here. And now we're done here. I think like patch X.2 or X.3, whichever X Shadowbringers was, I guess might have been 5 or probably 6. Was it 5 or 6? No, it would have been 5, yeah. And this one was earlier than this one over here, which was like 5.4 or something like that. But because it was released during Shadowbringers, this quest would have made a bit more sense. Ah, right. More sense because it would have been another tour of the city after you return to it after so many years, maybe like 5 years or something, maybe longer. And you would be reliving your memories of the Dragon Song War again. Even though we did that kind of once or twice already, with story quests and that one Horschiffon side quest, something like that. Is this the closest? I guess so. Well, actually, it would have been this one here. I'm here now, though. And I could have taken on all of these quests at the proper time around patch 5.3. But I just kind of felt like going here because it became unlocked as soon as we did the Heavensward stuff, so this is technically a valid way to experience the game if they let you do this before you do all the Shadowbringer stuff. So this is the vault, where the most wicked of men once resided. Vidofnir told us of the time she rescued a child who was thrown off the top. And this is more or less recent history, but I guess in Shadowbringer's time again, it would have been just a distant memory. But as for the canonical amount of time that passes between Heavensward and Shadowbringers, that's up for debate. A lot of people debate on that, I think. Doubtless these walls have witnessed much and more, but what about you? Do you have tales of your own about this place? Yeah. Does Komor even mention it? I don't think she's that close to El Toll. She wouldn't mention it. If you do not wish to talk about it, then I won't press. A story unwillingly given wouldn't make for the kind of song I wish to share with others. Right. That will do for the vault. Next, let us head to the place called Falcon's Nest. I would see the famous relief betokening peace between man and dragon. Oh yeah, I did want to get a look at this again. It's a good thing we're going here as part of this quest. Like right after we did the whole thing with some Moogles. So that dragon wishes to learn about Ishgard. Why are you accompanied by sinister music, child? So the Moogles had their one statue, right? And when I looked at it, it seemed like it was identical to the relief at Falcon's Nest. At least in my memory. And it pretty much is, yeah. It's got like the dragon on the right and Shiva on the left. Except it's in statue form over in the plaza. They even brought up the relief during the talk about the statue. And they said, no, that's far too recent, so we can't use that. But then they end up making something pretty much identical, kind of. So that is a relief. I've seen the artworks of men before, but I find it such a peculiar way to express one's feelings. Still, you can't be faulted for your artistry. But grand as it looks, the scent of sadness clings to it, the scent of blood. Vidofnir's and others. Whenever there is tragedy, our hearts can't help but be drawn to it. In this, it seems our kinds are the same. Now then. Have you noticed that we are being followed? I know not this person's intent, but let us return to the firmament for now. Komor remained oblivious. Who? That guy? No, that's just a normal guy. Probably lives here. Komor is none the wiser. Okay, maybe that was kind of suspicious. After this, I gotta get back to my main character and resume farming for relic weapons. I kind of bit the bullet and bought the materials that I need for advancing that step, rather than crafting them myself. Just because they were super duper cheap on the market board at this particular point in time. They're super expensive on the market board at the very beginning, because everyone wants to buy them immediately, right? But then the market gets flooded, and then the prices suddenly drop super low because nobody's buying them. And people keep on trying to undercut each other. And I expect the prices will rise after this as the stock dwindles and people realize they can sell them for more now, so yeah, I bought them. For only like 50,000 gil total. Not that much. And I'm on the step where I have to farm duty roulette for weeks and weeks. No more suspicious people about. Good. My thanks for acting as my guide. I feel as though I have a better understanding of the war now. Of course, this is just the beginning. If my songs are to be as resplendent as Radatowski's, I must learn more about men and their culture. I would be glad to assist, if it please you. That said, you're the one who is following us. If you mean us harm, be warned that this woman is a hero. I'm not sure we're in the business of beating up kids. Is what I would say if I didn't know Komori, but yeah. We'll beat you up if you're here to harm us. Crack your knuckles, Komori. Intimidate him. Oh, no. I wouldn't imagine doing you ill. My name? Oh, right. I remember this guy's name. I kind of forgot what he was all about. I just call him Hot Dog. But his name is Hotalong. My name is Hotalong. Ever since I read Lord Edmond's memoirs, I've wanted to befriend a dragon. Alright. Well, this guy gets it. But I didn't have the slightest inkling how to go about it. So when I saw you as the savior of Ishgard, on the spur of the moment I decided to follow you. You see, it's my dream to become a writer. Not just any writer, but one who chronicles this new age of peace between man and dragon. So please, won't you allow me to assist you? That would be an interesting account. Like someone who lived at the turn of the century, the era, between war and peace, as a child, and then chronicled it from the very start up until the day that he presumably died or something for a long time, which would be a long, long life considering he's an Elysian, which I think live longer than most, probably, if they are like similar to elves in that regard. I think that's true, for Final Fantasy lore. Oh, there it goes again. The screen kind of has been skipping a little bit this episode. That's not like just on the recording, because sometimes that happens on the recording, but that was actually on my screen here. Maybe something with the HDMI I have to mess with. I'll worry about it later though, hopefully it doesn't kill the recording somehow. Anyway. Well now, how very commendable. I wholeheartedly approve of your endeavor, and I see no reason to refuse you. Well actually maybe it doesn't even come out on the recording. It could just be that the way my cable is set up, it goes from the PS5 into the recording device, and then from another cable from the recording device into the TV. So I guess there's a possibility that the stutter, the screen skip, only happens on the way back to the TV and it doesn't happen on the capture card. Maybe. But that doesn't matter. Yes, we can teach each other the ways of our kind, and if you prove yourself useful, I shall credit you in my songs. Oh yeah, I guess they're both doing the same thing. Because the dragons use song to chronicle history, she's not just singing for the beauty of song, like purely. And he's recording history through books, the way people do. Thank you. An unexpected but welcome development. I shall remain here and speak further with our new friend. But I hope to hear more of your tales again. I don't remember how long this questline is, but it shouldn't be the entire episode, I think. I was actually thinking we would get to both this one and this one at the same time this episode, and actually, yeah, they raised the requirement to level 70 here, so yeah. I think we're getting to both of these this episode. So this is the next step that I was worried about, and we could take it as a carpenter, which is level 70, but we don't have the level 70 gear, which would be a problem. Ah, I've been waiting for you. Who better to tell of my studies than the very woman who set me on the course to enlightenment? My knowledge of mankind's histories has grown by leaps and bounds, in no small part thanks to Hotdalong's expert instruction. You've been listening to him talk for like a minute. I guess he's had a lot to unpack. Eltol is too kind. She has told me so much of Dragonkind in turn, that I could hardly call myself the teacher in this arrangement. In fact, the time may soon come to put ink to parchment and begin my chronicles. And we all await that day with bated breath. Hotdalong has not been my only teacher. The city itself has lessons abound for those who would observe them. Seeing its splendor with my own eyes has made clear one inalienable difference between man and dragon. I speak, of course, of your kind's love of tinkering, building, and crafting. Really? Dragons like that sort of thing? Over in Barles with the Moogles, they just leave the Moogles to do all of that work for them. I thought they hated it. And what a wonderful thing it is to behold. Well, I guess they love the results of the tinkering and the crafting and the building and all that, which is why they commissioned the Moogles for it. Where dragons are wont to tear down obstacles with fang and claw, you tear them down with hammer and chisel, or else find an ingenious way around them entirely. By using tools tailored to specific tasks, you overcome your natural deficiencies. Are you calling us short? One tool will be used to wrest precious materials from the earth, and another to transform them into something greater than the sum of its parts. I find the whole process rather fascinating. When I gaze upon the towering spires of the city, I imagine a roost built with my own claws, larger even than one my sire calls home. I am eager to see my dream realized as quickly as possible, but Hotdalong advises against rushing into such an endeavor unprepared. He claims that to do so would lead to abject failure, and possibly personal injury. You, however, are an experienced artisan, and I would be honored if you were to take me under your wing and teach me the art of making. I swear to be a dutiful study. And even should this day pass into the next, I won't rest until I've mastered even the most esoteric of skills. Well then, I believe we have an agreement. I can start right this moment if it pleases you. Are we accepting students? As long as she can pay. Now, Eltol, you know as well as anyone how busy our friend is, and I also fear you may have misjudged how long it takes to truly become a master craftsman. You mean it will take more than a day? Well, I mean, depending on how quickly you're farming out the experience with all the buffs that you could get. Yeah, you could do it in one day in Final Fantasy XIV, depending on, like, your craft. As long as you have, like, all the resources available. Ahem. I knew that, of course. I had only hoped against hope that she had no appointments to save the world for the foreseeable future. Do we? I mean, we took care of Alexander. The Warring Triad is still on the table. We don't really know what's going on with the rebels over with the Alamigo stuff. I'm sure we'll hear news about that soon, but yeah, we're kind of free. Alas, my enthusiasm may have gotten the better of me. Don't fret, Eltol. She may still be able to help in some capacity. Perhaps if you could introduce us to a crafter with both the time and inclination to teach. I expect that one of the many artisans around the firmament would be willing to lend us their expertise. Although you are in a far better position to judge their suitability than either of us. We shall look forward to our meeting, or to meeting our mentor-to-be. We're getting the Shadowbringer's quest music a bit early. Or would this be... I think that's Shadowbringers, but this is a level 70 quest, so... I guess this could be Stormblood music? But no, it would be level 70 for the sake of... whatever, I'm getting ahead of myself. No wait, 70 is the minimum for Shadowbringers, so... Yeah, because 70 would be the maximum for Stormblood. I suppose there are countless others who are more deserving of your attention than me. If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could introduce Eltol and I to a crafter who is willing to pass down their knowledge. Eltol holds your opinion in high regard, and I'm sure she would take to any teacher who had your seal of approval. Alright, let's go find some teachers. I guess Komori is not quite at the stage where she can actually teach someone. I mean, she's level 90 as an alchemist, but that doesn't mean she can teach. In fact, the whole reason we became a miner was because, I don't know, we wanted to learn more about the craft of stonemasonry. Maybe we're just doing all of this as a roundabout way of getting more experience as a crafter/gatherer. More of a finer eye towards the finer things in crafting/gathering. Oh, I passed them. And in fact, they were also over here. I was just looking at the further one. There you are. Random guy. Teach a dragon. Aye, I know the dragonette you speak of. I've seen her flitting about House Hyanard from time to time. Quite the inquisitive one, if I recall. So she wants to learn the fine art of crafting, does she? I've heard strange things in my time, but few as bizarre as that. I'm sure I'd kick myself later if I passed up this opportunity. So I reckon I could find time between projects to teach her a thing or two. Tell her I'll speak with her after I finish up here, will you? Well, I'm glad it's not an outright no. And I'll go speak with this dragonette of yours soon enough. I just need a little time to finish things up here. And on the way back we can talk to the other guys. An oblivious gatherer. Sounds like a great teacher. Oh, a crafter? My apologies, but I'm more inclined to gathering what bounty the earth has to offer. I leave it to others to mold said bounty into what they will. I'd love to introduce you to someone who might be of help, but I'm afraid my own work here is endless. While I certainly know many able craftsmen, I'm afraid I cannot count myself as one. I'd introduce you, but you see, there's just so much to be done. Ah, how'd I pass by these guys without even seeing them? Say again? That scrawny little dragon thing wants to craft? Whatever next. As much as the notion of having a dragon for a protege piques my interest, however, my specialty is working metal, great big slabs of it. Were she older, maybe there'd be a place for her, but as it stands, she'd be more of a hindrance than a help. Alright, so only the last guy. Your dragon thing seems eager enough, but she won't be lifting much of anything with those puny wings of hers. Terribly sorry, I can't help you out. Or not the last guy, the first guy, but the last guy like geographically. They lay it out so that you walk in this direction and talk to the guys that say no first, and talk to the guy that says yes last. I did it backwards though. Ah, the hero is returned. Have you found my teacher, whose sharp eye and steady hand will guide me on the path to mastery? Ah, such great expectations I must meet. While I assure you my hand is steady, the sharpness of my eye is very much a matter of conjecture. Nevertheless, if it's crafting you wish to learn, I'm your man. Although I can't say I've ever had the honor of teaching a dragon before. Any road, I'm Arvid, at your service. I'm here in the firmament on assignment from Skysteel Manufactory, and I dare say I have a few nuggets of wisdom knocking around in my head that are worth passing around. It's the young who must shoulder the burden of building the future, after all. Now crafters come in all sorts, from cooks to weavers to smiths. Have you given any thought to where you want to focus your energies? Focus? Well, can't I learn everything? Oh, look at you, an omni-crafter. Think you're better than us? Well, you are. Tell us, Komori, where should an aspiring artisan begin? Be it baking a cake or raising a castle, one must first look to their tools. Even the simplest project must start with quality materials. Why bother learning when you can just copy others? Yeah, give them some bad advice, Komori. She's just kind of aping people whenever she does all this crafting/gathering stuff. She made it this far because she was pretty good at just kind of copying them, but she doesn't actually probably have any real, I don't know, creativity on her own end. Maybe that's why she can't be a teacher. Not yet anyway. She's still working on it. And just who are you suggesting she copy, eh? Me? Come now, don't go filling her head with misguided notions. There'll be no shortcuts here. For now, let's start with the tools required to gather our own materials. Once you have the right equipment and supplies, there's nothing you can't make without enough, or with enough elbow grease. Oh, how splendid it is to have a guiding hand. Damn, it's really stuttering today. It might be like client-wise, like in the game itself. There's no telling how long it would have taken Hotalong and I to decide where to begin, had we been left to our own devices. Very well, gathering is where we shall pour our utmost efforts. Mayhap, when I'm a seasoned artisan in my own right, I'll take it upon myself to teach my kin as I was taught. Now wouldn't that be a sight to see? I dare say there has never been a dragon who has learned a trade, let alone one who has passed such skills on to the next generation. Indeed, you may be correct on that count. The other dragons, will be flabbergasted by the wonders I create. Of course, I don't plan on taking all the credit. It seems to me that mankind's most culturally significant works are those that result from collaboration, of people working together to make something greater than they could have alone. To that end, I must study and learn from the works of others, and even though you are too busy with your heroics to teach me daily, I would much appreciate if you would come by from time to time and offer what knowledge you can. Yeah, not daily, but weekly. Magnificent. I knew your generosity would match the greatness of your deeds. Well then, let's get your education started off on the right foot, eh? You can spy tradesmen of all sorts plying their trade at the new nest. I reckon you could certainly do worse than to learn a couple of tricks from them. Ah, the place is practically a second home to young Hottalong and I. Allow me to lead the way. Yeah, between the previous quest and this quest, there should have been, like, a lot of time passing, I guess. It might have even been that it was between patches or something, the 60 to 70 quest. Though we're only, like, visiting the new nest part of the city, so this would have been repaired during patch 5.2 or 3 or whatever, so maybe it is like the same patch where you first met Altol anyway. Who's that? Is she here to help us? I remember going to the new nest with Master Marcelo when I first arrived in the city. This here is Anna, and we have her in the House of Splendors to thank for supplying the firmament with quality materials at incredibly low prices. Suspiciously so, in fact. Yeah, low prices? That doesn't sound right to me. Are you implying there is some ulterior motive behind our generosity? Why, certainly not. I'm here at the behest of my organization to aid Ishgard in its fledgling days as an allied nation. We are driven as much by philanthropy as we are by profit, I can assure you. Excuse me, miss, but are you a craftswoman by any chance? I'm afraid, my adorable little dragonette, that my hands are entirely too clumsy to make aught aside from my morning tea. I mean, with those nails, it might be kind of hard to even do that. The 12 have seen fit to bless me with sharp mind for trade, however, and so here I am. And that's precisely why we've come. Eltol has it in her head to learn a trade or two, and we are here to set her on the right path. To that end, I would ask you to provide us with materials, and perhaps any counsel you might afford a young novice. It would be my pleasure. Perhaps in return, she could tell me about the rarities and relics dragons keep in their lairs. I sense a once-in-a-lifetime investment. I sense a once-in-a-lifetime investment opportunity has come before me. And if business in the firmament goes as much as my intuition says it will, this might be just what I require to turn a stream of gil into a veritable flood of riches. Having trouble reading a lot today. Consider me at your complete disposal. Say the word and I shall procure whatever you may need. How generous of you. You have our thanks, Miss Hannah. Yeah, generous. Sure. Anything to foster the next generation of builders and tinkerers, my boy. As for the current generation, well, I suppose a house could bear to part with a few scripts in return for guiding our dragonette friend here on her journey to mastery. We can't say no to an offer like that, can we? Well then, now that we're all acquainted, let's head back to St. Rolls-Dice. So yeah, we're in it for the scripts, basically. And the experience, I guess, but, well, we kind of need both of them to take on, eventually, relic quests. Yeah, let's say that's Komoi's ultimate objective. To get some tools that, I don't know, would help her surpass Terracin and the Mughals of Barles and whoever else might doubt her. Maybe all of this Ishgardian restoration stuff made her feel inadequate, and it never really went away because she didn't help build any of this, and now she wants to get back at them somehow, prove that she's better than them, with some fancy new tool or something. That Anna's quite the shrewd businesswoman, but she's true to her word. I know that much. With you and Arvid at her side, Arvid at her side, I'm sure Eltol's dream will become a reality. With Master Arvid and Master Komoi guiding us, I'm sure we'll be raising fortresses and forging dazzling suits of armor in no time at all. Let's keep our ambitions manageable for the time being, shall we? Our first task is the construction of tools that'll fit snugly in those claws of yours. Komoi, I trust you can help with that. In the meantime, I've work of my own to attend to. If there's aught you need, you know where I am. Before I depart, however, I'll leave you with an assignment. Inspect everything Komoi does with diligence. A discerning eye is a tool that will outlast all others. Yeah, just kind of copy us exactly. That's how we learned. Yes, Master Arvid. We'll give Komoi's work the twice over. I guess it's not copying, just more so... like, it's not tracing, it's more so using it as a reference, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's another custom delivery. And it's one from Shadowbringers, so... this is one that we can't really do as a gatherer, because we would have to be in the Shadowbringers area, which we haven't unlocked yet, to gather stuff there. But we can kind of cheat and do this questline as a crafter, because all of the crafting stuff is just right here. Even the most masterful works of crafting are a common sight to us, who grew up in Ishgard, but to a dragon, I imagine even a hawker's stall is something to behold. Would that I could see the world from their eyes. Here to help us make a tool fit for dragons? Yeah, I guess we are. So yeah, crafting, gathered, and fishing. Gathered being, mining and botany. Botany. Same thing as Zoe, but for level 70. And we get the crafting stuff from Anna. person we just talked to. Okay, so, as a crafter, we are creating custom gathering tool components, and for the first one we're only going to need 3. So for this we need Dragon's Gathering Tool component materials, which is the only thing. Let's do this quickly, and it seems like we might not actually finish this other quest by the time we get to the end of this episode. I think we'll only start it, but I guess that's fine. We'll kind of ramp up in the next episode. Oh hey, it's him. Don't worry, the little ones will be safe under our watchful eyes. Yes, ours. And has agreed to help ensure none of them stick their claws where they aren't supposed to. Okay, so we need these. 3 of them. Actually, was it 3? Yeah, it was 3. Okay. And the nice thing about being the level we are, level 91 Alchemist, we unlocked this thing at a very early level, which just gives us instant quality even for these things. These custom deliveries. Makes it very easy. And we also have this one, which makes it a lot faster. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. This one. And another. Can we just do this 3 times? I guess it's technically faster to do this and then this 2 times. The animation on doing the veneration, the one that gives you increased progress, is a shorter animation than just doing one progress step. So this, and then this, and then this. That would be the fastest we can do it, I think. Alright, so we crafted them, but we're going to turn them in as a carpenter. Get the experience on this one. Now another stutter. Right after this episode, I'm going to have to see if that's on the capture side or just on the TV side. Yeah, the whole spiel. I have to give it to you like every time, for the first time. And this will get us like tons and tons and tons of experience, I think. 250,000, actually that's not that much, but it is sizable with our double bonus. So this is what we need to make tools for gathering. Truth be told, I struggle to envision how all of these parts fit together. But I suppose grasping that is the first of many steps. Oh, I may very well be the first dragon to make her own tools. Oh my, you've certainly outdone yourself this time. Even Master RV might be hard-pressed to produce such fine works. And another. And there's our level. Oh, did I skip something? Your supplies truly have been a godsend, hero. I'd say we have more than enough for me to begin learning the fine art of gathering in earnest. Let's go speak to Master RV at once. And at once. Ah, it is good to see you. I've been meaning to thank you for all your help with Eltol's education. An education which is off to a splendid start, I must say. I believe I have developed a keen sense for the finer parts of gathering, which Master RV says is the basis of all crafting. But even for gathering, you must have tools. And to make those tools, you must gather materials. And to gather those materials, you must have more tools? Yeah? It's kind of an endless circle, huh? But I mean, you get your start somewhere with the first quest, right? We're kind of like the first quest giver for Eltol, who give her the first crappy pickaxe that they use. Ah, it's tools all the way down, isn't it? Or is it materials? No matter. It's as much a fool's errand as trying to guess if the dragon came before the egg. Do they have that analogy in Dragonkind? Did they, like, invent that analogy and give it to mankind or something? Is that like another thing that the heretics, or not the heretics, the non-heretics, that they stole from dragons? Not only stealing their dragon eyes, but also stealing their little turns of phrases? Maybe. If there is one fact to be gleaned from that conundrum, however, it is that crafting and gathering are inextricably linked. Yeah, I guess that's kind of why we had to do all the mining quests before we came here, huh? Indeed, you are correct. Without one trade, the other dies, and vice versa. That's precisely why I aim to see you proficient at both, before our time together is done. To that end, I've devised something specially for those tiny claws of yours, an L-toll-sized pickaxe. Here, take it. What do you think? It's perfect. So yeah, this is kind of the big fun part about this quest. It's one of my favorite custom delivery ones. Not only because you're working with a dragon, but because the dragon actually physically changes as she learns the tools of the trade and all that. With that in claw, you'd look right at home among the rest of the workers. I see now that even though you wingless ones lack claws and fangs, you have the strength to shatter stone and sunder earth. I have an inkling now of how powerful the first of you to wield a pickaxe felt. For something so small and light, it is remarkably sturdy. Even I could swing this all day without tiring. The hidden treasures of the world shall be mine. This quest would have been much more appropriate if we did it as a miner, like the moment after we completed the mining quest over in Ul'dah, but I guess we can just kind of pretend that we, in between crafting things for her, told her about the mining experience, passed on some of that experience to her, that we just learned ourselves. Did I read that one? I think I read it. But just in case. For something so small and light, it is remarkably sturdy. Even I could swing this all day without tiring. The hidden treasures of the world shall be mine. For some reason, my short-term memory can't confirm or deny if I actually read that twice or not. Oh well. This is all I could have hoped for and more. Thank you, Master Arvid, and us. All I did was put the parts together. It was our friend that did all the hard work. Actually, Komor brought so many materials that I had enough to make a few more pickaxes. Perhaps you could give them to your dragon friends. Yes, Master Arvid. I shall take what I can and leave at once. We are a crafting connoisseur in the eyes of Eltol. Eltol is pleased with your efforts. She now considers you a crafting connoisseur. All that remains is to wait for the fruits of her labor. And so we wait. Nothing else better to do. Welcome back, Eltol. So, how was it? I'm sure the other dragons found your new tools to be quite fascinating. Well, you see, I'm afraid it wasn't quite like that. The dragonettes were delighted to see what I had brought, of course. The elder dragons, however, practically flew into a rage, haranguing the younger ones and insisting that such tools are contrary to a dragon's very nature. Oh, I see. Well, become a heretic dragon. That'd be cool, right? No matter what species you are, if you're a heretic, it's cool. Although it was far from the enthusiastic reception I had envisioned, I still believe that the prejudices of the past will, nay, must, give way to new ways of thinking, if we are to coexist peacefully with the Ishgardians. And I know for certain there are those among the other dragonettes who are of the same mind. I must continue to persevere, else my efforts so far will have been for naught. Indeed, the other dragonettes will come around in time, I'm sure. Or not dragonettes, the dragons. Even the most cantankerous of the lot. Perhaps you should take a different tack. The dragons might be much more amenable to something that was crafted by one of their own, namely you. What a marvelous suggestion, Hot Along. But there is still the question of what I might craft. Something eye-catching, unlike anything they've seen before. In that case, why not try your hand at weaving? The materials are lightweight, and the tools are small enough for even you to use deftly. Clothing designed for dragons would be especially novel, which I'm sure many of them would find interesting. But Orvide, you see, that doesn't have very good synergy with mining. She's a miner right now, like level 5 or something, and all she can get is like stone or rock salt or something. She'd be much better off, I don't know, becoming an alchemist. But yeah, I guess this is just, more lore-wise, something that she could do easily. I think weaving is probably an easier craft than alchemy to start with. That's a wonderful idea. Oh, I cannot wait to get started. That depends on our friend here. I'll need some help procuring the materials, if it's not too much trouble. I'll give you a list of what we need, while I take care of the rest. Great. In the meantime, I shall give you thought to what exactly I might weave. Alright, and what are we crafting this time? Have you come to help us weave garments befitting an artisan? Custom weaving components. And is there like an intermediary step? There isn't. But how much do we need? One of each. Got it. But actually we need to get 6. 3 for this week and 3 for next week. We're actually doing these the normal way this time. Just because of the weird timing with how I did Zoe's custom deliveries. It was such that we could do all 6 at one time per each of the later levels. But now we're at the stage where we kind of have to split things up between weeks, where we do 3 in one week, like the latter 3 for one bar and the beginning 3 for the next bar, like each week. Which is just kind of a weird way to do things, but it's the way that you have to do them, considering that's the way they were designed, I guess. And that's the same. So we need... yeah, they're all kind of laid out perfectly in a row like this. Just looking at my timer here, we won't even get to the whole crafting set for this one, because this one is another custom delivery thing that we can do at the same time. And actually, my whole plan here was basically this. For custom deliveries, you have an allowance of 12 per week, and you get to do 6 on one character, because that's the maximum one character can do per week. Which means you can pour your custom delivery allowances into 2 characters if you do all 6 at once. And I figured it would be sensible to do both of these custom deliveries here in the Ishgardian Restoration all at once. That's the plan. Oh right, I need to actually craft them. Oh wait, crap. Well shit. Can we do this? There's no way. Am I even gonna try? I mean, I might as well try. The material was gone as soon as I clicked OK. We're doing this as a carpenter, and I meant to do it as an alchemist, obviously. I guess let's see how far we go, though. Using what I know about optimal usage of GP, or CP. A little more, I think. Give me the calculation. You usually end on Baragot, and this would only be 1000 if I doubled it. But it would also be... what does this do again? How much was... this one? 18. No, not the CP cost. It was 50%. So 150 times 2 would be 3 times, so that should work. Yeah, so we'll save the durability, do this, then this. It should max this out. And now we need to worry about progress, which we're kind of in trouble for. If I had a delineation, I could get some CP back. But we don't, so... so I think we're screwed, basically, unless we get super duper lucky somehow with this. Like, incredibly lucky. Okay, I guess we can get some CP back. We could use it on this, but we're not high enough level. Yeah, the only thing we can use this for is CP at this point. Which doesn't really help us. It doesn't give us back any, like... I would want to get some durability back with this. Can't do that, though. So yeah, we're gonna have to do... well, if we got, like, another one of these, we could do more crafting. What does this do again? We could try to delay the amount of time using this, which would cost CP. But we only have like 3 steps remaining anyway, so we might as well try for it. And this other one just does something basic, right? Yeah, better progress, which isn't really worth that much. Because it would only be 155 per. So just do a delay. Alright, do another delay. Alright, we got another one. And we almost have enough to do this. Oh wait, I lost my veneration. Well, whatever. We're gambling now. Alright, we're in the negative now. Alright, I guess we'll just do it one more time, and then we'll actually gamble. Yeah, there was like no way that this would work out, but... we have to gamble on this one anyway, rapid synthesis, so... I thought I might as well gamble. And I think we have enough for one more gamble? No, wait. Yeah, we have to do this now. Okay. Here we go. Alright, there's one. Alright, we're screwed. Unless... no, we're screwed no matter what. We failed. Alright, that was a waste of time. I'm not sure why I spent so much time on that. Alright, now we gotta go back for that other thing. Is this actually... can I use this as a... as an alchemist? Okay, it is the same material. Thought it might be like specific to whatever class you are. Oops, this one. I should have just saved the time and done this from the beginning, huh? I don't know, maybe it was my Orkomoi's pride as a crafter to not give up on the craft, just because she wasn't the right class. And one more. Crafters have the general benefit of doing things much faster than gatherers for this sort of thing, just because the materials are right there and obviously gatherers have to go out in the world. And crafters also get all of their CP back right after a craft, while gatherers sort of have to wait for it to come back. There's an item that gives you your stuff back as a gatherer, a cordial, but that's still on a cooldown, so it's still annoying to use. The one thing that they introduced in the new spoiler exploration stuff, which is for crafters and gatherers, they somehow made that mode work so that gatherers get all of their CP back after they do a gathering mission thing. So they sort of work just like what we saw now, with the CP coming back for a crafter. So it's less of a pain to use a gatherer during those missions. A nice thing that they added back in there. Anyway, that's like way in the future for Komori, so no point in talking about it now. Oh wait. As a carpenter, Master RV explained to me that since we dragons are covered in tough scales, we have no need to fear needles pricking us. My claws are still a bit too clumsy for delicate work, but I feel that weaving might very well be my calling. Oh my, you certainly outdone yourself this time. Master RV might be hard-pressed to produce such fine work. Alright, that's just the same thing. So it's the same thing for the high-quality stuff every time. And one more level. And like this, if we also do the other crafting stuff on the other side, we can gain about 2 levels per week, I guess. Which is not too bad, but we also want to increase it other ways, I guess, like through the Grand Company stuff, where you turn in materials that gives you like a big chunk of experience. And those are on like a daily cooldown, so they might be better for getting experience than this is. There you are. You have my utmost gratitude for all your deliveries so far. I feel that before long I will be able to call myself a crafter in truth, just like you and Master Arvid. Of course, young Hotalong's efforts deserve recognition as well. In fact, Hotalong doesn't even really do anything, does he? He just kind of stands here as a sort of liaison for Eltol. He was just kind of there for that one quest that we did at the beginning of the episode, but he's kind of completely unrelated to all of this crafting and gathering stuff, isn't he? Just kind of a scribe. You have delivered the weekly maximum, etc., etc. So yeah. That's done. There. Go back to this for the next one we're taking on, which is right over here. And actually, because of how much time I wasted on trying to do the crafting as a carpenter, we're sort of out of time for this episode already, so I can't exactly take on the beginning of this quest. We'll just save it entirely for the next episode. I really wasn't expecting Eltol to take up the entire episode, but because of the weird way that I did things, I guess it did end up doing that. So yeah, our other custom deliveries is for Charlemagne de Durandare, whose first name I forgot in like a previous episode, but I'm remembering it now that it's in front of me. It's Charlemagne. And we'll learn what Charlemagne wants us to craft for him in the next episode. Now would be a good time to take a break.